Hello fellow collectors and welcome to Long's Toys. Today we're taking a look at Trooper Class Wildwheel from the Transformers Bumblebee Cyberverse Adventures Battle Call line. So obviously if you're not familiar with Battle Call, basically how it works is there's an on and off switch. When it hears sounds, it affects the LED in the chest, so we'll take a look at how all that works. But the thing that I'm most excited about with Wildwheel is he kind of has like a Wild West theme going. You can see he's got a bandolier, he's got a cowboy hat. I promise it is included there behind the Decepticon symbol in the packaging. I do think it's funny that the packaging shows the bandolier on this side, and it's definitely on this side, so a little bit of mirror imaging going on there. But hopefully this guy's pretty cool. On this side of the packaging, it says Trooper Class, kind of a typical Decepticon group shot there. On this side, pretty cool picture of Wildwheel. Not too much going on the bottom or the top. And then taking a look at the back, just kind of shows you how you can attach all the Energon pieces, and then he's got kind of a cool car mode. So we'll check it out. We'll go ahead, let's get him out of the box, and we'll take a closer look. So here's Wildwheel out of the packaging, and for the most part, I'm okay with the design of the robot mode. The only problem is this giant piece here, which is going to become, you can see like the hood of the car and kind of the whole top windshield piece. It just hangs here off the back and unfortunately makes him ridiculously back heavy, and he doesn't really have sufficient heels, so it's very difficult to get him to stand unless you kind of have him like bent forward like someone just punched him in the gut, and that's just kind of a bummer. Even if you were to have him stand normally, like the legs can't, you know, this thing just gets in the way. This whole back piece. Now you could, if you wanted to, like unpeg this and kind of float it, you know, in the air, something like this. You could put it all the way up, but that looks kind of ridiculous. But you could just kind of like, it's almost a shame. I wish you could just kind of take it off. Actually, can you just take it off? You can just take it off. Problem solved. There it is. Part of the transformation will include putting that piece back on. But you can see without it, it's so much better. I mean, it's a decent robot mode. Again, I wish he had better heels. The arms are kind of thin and goofy. But it's just really that giant piece on the back. It's terrible. It's really terrible. We'll put it back in a minute. Anyway, he does have some accessories. First and foremost, his cowboy hat. And will you stand for a moment so I can show off your cowboy hat? There we go. So, it's very plain. I'm pretty sure it's just molded in one color. I don't think there's any paint. I was trying to determine if this like stripe around is actually a darker brown, but I really don't think it is. But it's pretty cool. I love that he comes with a cowboy hat. You can't complain. So you can go ahead, you can put it on top of his head. And it looks great. You can see how it kind of comes like just above his eyes. Now it does cast one heck of a shadow. But it's a really cool look. I like that quite a bit. The other thing you can do is if you take it off, you can put it on his back. He's got a little spot right here. So if you want to store it there, you can. Unfortunately, it doesn't store there in vehicle mode. Actually, does it? I don't think it does. Oh, now I've gone and done it. There we go. No, it does not. I didn't think it did. All right, we'll leave this on, I guess. But yeah, I really like that. I also really like the face sculpt. I think it looks great. The mustache and the little, like, I guess it's a full goatee. I'm not quite sure. Either way, facial hair is awesome. The eyes are very nicely detailed and painted. The face is nicely painted. It's just a really great design for a really dastardly looking, you know, like Wild West kind of bounty hunter looking dude. Like, they just really nailed it on that. I love the bandolier. The Decepticon symbol looks good. All of the detail and paint applications I think are really sharp. So I appreciate that. Let's go ahead and check out some of his other accessories here. Now he's got a chest piece Energon thing just like Meteor Fire did. So you just kind of pop that on there. Now the cool thing about it is you can see how it goes up and just leaves cutouts for his eyes. So it's kind of like when a bandit back in the day would like, or at least in the movies, they depict a bandit like robbing a bank and he would put like a bandana all the way up around to disguise his face. So I think that's really cool. It's what it reminds me of, especially if we go ahead and put the cowboy hat on. So it's just his eyes are visible. That's really cool. I like that a lot. The other accessory that he comes with, if I can get this chest piece off. Let me zoom back out here while I'm doing this. So, come along. I feel like I don't usually have trouble with this. There we go. So, he's got 2 guns. Now, they're kind of dinky little guns, I will admit. And they're not super impressive in his hands. But if you think of them as kind of like tiny, you know, handguns, like a cowboy or something would use in an old movie or something like that, they're okay. But the best part about the guns, the coolest part, is that he's actually got a little spot on each leg to put the gun in, like a holster. And that's really, really impressive to me. I just think that's such a cool little attention to detail. That is really, really cool. Yeah, I was going to say, this one's not in all the way. Why is this not going in? There we go. But that's awesome. I mean, come on. He's got little holsters for the guns on his legs. That's fantastic. And you can actually kind of, you have to move this out of the way, but you can kind of get the hand on there, you know, like he's about to draw the gun. I think that's pretty cool. It's pretty difficult to actually have him connect and then actually pull the gun out of the holster. It kind of works, but at least you can make it look like he's about to draw, which I think is pretty cool. So that's my favorite part about his accessories. It's actually a little difficult to get these guns in his hands, but there you go, once you get him in. So he's a cowboy with 2 guns, 2 holsters, and a cowboy hat and a bandolier. I mean, come on. You can't go wrong. Now he's also got these little wing things that you're just supposed to peg in up here. I think these are the stupidest of all his accessories, I'll be honest. When all the rest are so cool, and then they're just like, and then you have these. Okay. I don't need these. These are worthless to me. I'm putting them to the side. But yeah, the little handguns with the holsters is really, really cool in my opinion. I love the cowboy hat. All that is really, really cool to me. For the battle call gimmick, I'm going to go ahead and take the cowboy hat just so I can access the button here. So was that already on? There we go. Okay, so you turn it on. This one's just a straight red LED. And again, there's not really any attack phrases or anything like that, but as you just talk, after a while, it'll kind of do a really quick little flash. It's not really that exciting. See, there you just saw it again. It's really quick, and that's all there really is to it. Like you talk, it'll glow a little bit brighter. After a minute, it starts to do the quick rapid fire, but only for like a second or two, and then it's over. And most of the time, it just kind of pulses back and forth. So I feel like this one is even less exciting than Meteor Fire's is, unfortunately. Alright, so we'll get into articulation real quick before we get into transformation. There's not a ton. Head does not move at all. You have a ball joint here in the shoulder. You do have a kind of rotation here in the body part of the shoulder. So you have that, and then you also have this, so kind of a double jointed shoulder there. You have a ball joint here in the elbow, ball joint in the hip, and then you have kind of a strangely tight... you can see this one's even tighter than the other one. Knee joint, which is really more for the transformation than anything, but you can get pretty much 180 out of the knee, again, because of the transformation. Again, really terrible heels. I wish these were a little longer. It makes them so hard to stand. Anyway, going ahead into the transformation here. This piece on the back, if you have it pegged in like this, just go ahead, unpeg it. You can see that there are 2 spots right here and here, and that's going to tab into these 2 tabs right here and here. So bring this up, tab it in. You're going to rotate the shoulder, and you can see if I zoom in, there is a tab spot right here and right there, and that's going to tab in right there and right here. So you're going to bring this up and tab this in like so. Do the same thing over here on the other one. You're going to rotate the forearms like that. And you can see that there's kind of like a hidden bicep, which you never see because you always see the arm from this side. But you're going to untab the hidden bicep like that. And then you can see that there's a tab right here, and that's going to go on the inside of the arm right there. So you're going to rotate this back, and then that's going to tab in like so. So unhook the hidden bicep, swivel this around, and peg that in. And then you can see pretty much the whole front of the car is right there. The rest of this is super simple. You're going to peg these together, like so. Then you're going to bend them at the knee, bring it around, and boom, there you go. You are done. There is the vehicle mode. So here is the vehicle mode. Very futuristic, very Cybertronian. Definitely reminds me of something like from one of the video games a couple years ago, either War for Cybertron or Fall of Cybertron. But it rolls decently. You do kind of see the whole torso and robot head just underneath, which is kind of a bummer. You can go ahead and hit the switch right here to turn this on. But I feel like in this mode it doesn't really make any sense because you can't see it. Like you could just see underneath that it's lit up. Also trying to turn it back off in this mode is a little difficult. I'm going to use one of his gimmicks here and there we go, get that turned off. But, I don't know, it's just not as good in this mode. At least with Meteor Fire, when he transformed, his gimmick was still right in the front, so you could still utilize it. In this mode, it doesn't really make much sense to me. Now, you can take his Energon pieces, and you can attach them in this mode. So the guns have little spots on the side to clip onto these big flat tabs. So peg that in like so. And then this. Now, I don't know why they want you to peg the guns in backwards. That seems weird to me. I guess you could technically do it like that if you liked that better. At least then the gun would be facing forward instead of backwards. I don't know. I don't know why they want the gun to face backwards. These little weird wing pieces that I thought were kind of dumb. Still kind of dumb, but they're a little bit less dumb in the vehicle mode. They give them some like little wings on the back. It's alright. And then this is just going to peg into these two spots up here. So... boom. Simple. Nope. You actually have to do... there you go. You have to actually peg it in. But in any case, it looks okay. The green breaks up the brown a little bit. Goes well with the purple. It's okay. I don't personally need the Energon pieces to attach in the vehicle mode, but they can. So, there it is. Now, the most egregious offense. There's nowhere to store the Cowboy Hat in vehicle mode. I was really hoping you could either leave it on his back and transform over top of it, but you can't really. I was hoping you could like maybe fit it in here. There's kind of little slits here, but because it's not straight across, that doesn't work. So, I don't know. If you're going to store this in vehicle mode, you're just going to have to keep track of that, which is kind of a bummer. But otherwise, it rolls decently. And I do like the look of it. I think it's a pretty cool little vehicle mode. I think it's definitely more successful than Meteor Fire's vehicle mode. So at the end of the day, we have kind of another middle-of-the-road figure. There's a lot that I like. There's a lot that I don't like. I guess first I'll start with the positives. So I think the robot mode is decent. I love the hat. Absolutely love the hat. Love the face sculpt with the mustache and the other facial hair. The eyes, everything's fantastic there. Bandelier's very cool. Decepticon symbol looks good. Color scheme, I think, makes sense, especially for kind of a Wild West motif. Brown would be the default color, I think. I love the fact that he comes with the little guns and that they can hop into the holsters here. I think that's really, really cool. That's such a small attention to detail that I think really, really works. I'm so happy they did that. You know, when you're going for a cowboy aesthetic, you know, having the hat and then the guns at the side, I think really, really works. So, love that. This little Energon piece, when it clips onto the chest and kind of comes up over his face like a bandana, but it leaves his eyes exposed, I think is actually really cool. Articulation's decent. Let's see, is there anything else? I guess that's about it. As far as things I don't like, I really wish he had better heels, because when you have this giant gaudy thing hanging off the back, it makes him naturally want to fall backwards. And especially because the heels are too short, it just makes him want to go all the way back. So he definitely needs better heels. I wish there was something they could do with this, even if there was just another hinge here and it could fold this in half. I mean, I'm okay with a little bit of a butt skirt, but if you could just fold this in half and have it peg into that spot right there, I feel like that would be good enough. Just so it's not so much hanging off the back. The arms are a little thin, which I think from the side looks kind of goofy. These things, these two Energon pieces, I think are kind of completely worthless. I mean, everything else is fine, so I don't need them, but I don't know. I don't care for those at all. Yeah. The battle call, again, I don't think it's that great. I think this one's even less effective than Meteor Fire's was. You turn it on and it's a red LED, and then it kind of pulsates for a while, and then it does one or two rapid blinks, and then just back to more of the same. At least with Meteor Fires, it changed color. It went from blue to red, so I felt like that was at least something. This one I feel like is even less exciting than that one. So ultimately, I like him. I really do. I mean, the toy has a lot of character to it, and I think they did a great job designing a Wild West character, nailing the head sculpt with the facial hair, the bandolier, the cowboy hat, the guns at the side. Fantastic. Really, really did a good job with that. And for that reason, I think you need to have at least one version of this character. Now, if you want to roll the dice and see if they do a version of this guy in the, like, Build-A-Fig, I forget what the deluxe class is. It's just deluxe class, I guess. If you want to wait and see if they do him in the deluxe class, I think that's going to be a better figure. If they do eventually get around to doing this character in the deluxe size, I think you're going to get a much better figure. At this point, I don't know how much longer that's going to continue. I thought we saw some listings for additional characters in that line, Prowl and Soundwave and some others. So if they turn around and they do Meteor Fire and Wildwheel in that line, they're probably going to be much better figures. But if this is the only version of this character we ever get, I think he's decent. Like I said, I think there's definitely fun to be had here. He's just far from perfect. Like I said, personally for me, I like the characters and I like the robot modes of these Battle Call figures, but the whole Battle Call gimmick really doesn't do anything for me. I mean, the little bit of Energon armor and whatnot, it's okay. It's not bad, especially when I can get it pegged in and it actually does it. Gee, why do I have so much trouble with that? In any case, it looks okay. I really do kind of like the bandana look. Meteor Fires was okay as well, but I don't know. I would much rather just have a cool, well-articulated, good transformation, good alt mode version of this character than all these gimmicks. But I decided to just get these two Battle Call figures because I wanted to at least get versions of these characters. I will probably rebuy if they do. It's not really a rebuy, but I will definitely get the deluxe versions of these characters if they do happen eventually, because I think you'll end up getting much better toys. But there are a lot of gimmicks on this that I think are fun. The hat, the guns. You can even store the hat on the back, which is kind of cool. So I think there's definitely fun to be had here. I just personally don't care about the Battle Call gimmick at all. That's kind of where I'm at. But I still think he's a cool figure. I also wish he could do like the classic like cowboy grabs his hat kind of pose. But because his head doesn't turn at all, and because his hand can only get about that close to his hat, I can't recreate that, which kind of bums me out. But yeah, that's going to do it for this guy. At the end of the day, I think he's okay. Just know what you're getting into. And unfortunately, most poses are going to require him to kind of lean forward, which is a bummer. Again, you can always take this piece off. Just have to put it back on before you transform. But yeah, that's going to do it for this one. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hope you enjoyed the video. And as always, thanks so much for watching.